Hello friends, myself Deepak. Today I'm going to explain about the significance of expense tracker and the workflow of expense tracker application that I developed. So first of all, what is expense tracker? Expense tracker is a tool or application that is designed to help individuals and businesses to monitor and manage their financial transactions and spending habits. This tool plays a crucial role in achieving a financial goals as well as budgeting. In order to develop an application, I used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create an interface. I used advanced Java to write the logic. In order to store the data in the database, I used MySQL. I used Eclipse to write a code. Now I am going to explain the workflow of my expense tracker application. Whenever the user opens the application, the user will get a landing page. On the landing page, a little user icon will be displayed at the top right corner. After clicking on this user icon, it will take straight to the login page. On this login page, the user is prompted to enter the username as well as password. So first of all, before trying to log in, first of all the user need to create the account, and the user can create an account by clicking on this link, sign up now. The page will be directed to the account creation page. On sign up page, the user should provide his details. Suppose, yes, I provided a name as Annam Deepak as a I provided Annam Deepak as a full name, and I provided Deepu as a username, and I'm giving an email as deepu88 at the rate gmail.com. Here I am giving the password as 88, and confirm password I am providing 88. Suppose if the user entered the different values in both this password as well as confirm password fields, then the account creation process will fails, right? Upon the submission, the user will get a success message, and the page will be directed to the login page to access the newly created account. Here the user should enter his credentials. If the credential does not match it with the data in the database, then the user will get a error message, invalid credentials. So the username is Deepu, and if the user forget the password, then they can know their password by clicking on this forget link. In forget password page, the user is prompted to enter the email. So if the entered email is present in the database, then it will fetch the password associated with the email. So the password is 88. So the username is Deepu and the password is 88, right? Whenever the credentials are correct, so it will give the success message and it will be redirected to home page. On home page, the user's name is prominently displayed at the center and the middle of the page. Additionally, setting icon is also displayed. This application mainly provides the four features: add expenses, view expenses, total expenses, as well as filter expenses. Add expenses page is allows the user to add the expense details. View expenses page allows the user to view the recorded expenses in a tabular format. Total expenses page allows the user to calculate the summation of the expenses that spent by the user in the given time period. So filter expenses is used to filter the expenses that they spent. So first of all, add expenses page. Whenever the user clicks on add expenses page, a form will be presented to the user, and the user can enter the expense details such as amount, date, category, as well as description. Suppose if the user spent 50 rupees on groceries today, we should add the user can add in this page. So the amount is 50 rupees. He spent that amount on today. To buy the groceries, he spent 50 rupees. So bought. In this way, the user can add his expenses in this page. Expense added successfully. That means that that expense details are stored in the database. The page will be automatically redirected to view expenses page. In view expenses page, the user will get all the recorded expenses that he entered. If the user decided to modify the existing expense details, then he can do that by clicking on update button. Suppose here I am modifying 50 to 40, right? Yeah, record updated successfully. Initially I entered 50 rupees, but I modified to 40 rupees. So if you want to know, if the user want to know how much amount they spent on each category, like how much the user is spending on groceries, how much is spending on transportation, how much is spending on healthcare, then they can know by clicking on this link, right? So he's say the user savings are zero, user didn't buy anything, clothing is zero. So the user spent 40 rupees for groceries. So now I am explaining about the third feature, total expenses. Whenever the user clicks on total expenses page, the user is prompted to to enter the start date as well as end date. The expenses. So suppose I entered a start date as February 27 and end date as March 18th. This application will fetches the expenses that spent by the user between these given dates. Calculation in progress. So between the February 27 and March 18, the user spent 40 rupees only. So this is how the total expenses page will work. Whenever the user click on filter expenses page and the user is prompted to enter the select date, category as well as amount. Based on the values that entered by the user, it will display the output. Suppose if there is no record, it will show the message like that. Now I'm going to explain about the settings. If the user want to edit his account, edit his personal details, he can do that by clicking on this edit profile button. So if the user decided to edit his profile, he can change here, right? Once after clicking an update profile, the user will get the success message. Yes. I- This page is used to describe about the significance of an expense tracker application. The user can know the importance of this application. If the user decided to give any feedback or complaint or advice or any suggestion, then they can give provide a feedback using this contact us page. Suppose implement in this way, the user can provide a feedback. After, the page will be redirected to the rating page, and the user can rate this application according to his preferences. If the user don't like this, he will give a 1 star, or 2 star, and 3 star. Right. If the user want to know how much that he how much if he decided to know the savings during the particular month, then he can click know your savings form. Suppose the user earned 100 rupees during the March 2024. If he want to know how much he saved, then the system gives a result through a pie chart. This is how your savings page works. If the user want to get his expense details through email, then he can request an administrator by using this form. So by clicking on this send my expenses button, uh, the request will be sent to admin. If the user want to know how much he spent in this current week, then he can click your this week expenses button. Okay. Actually, today he spent 40 rupees, but he does not spend anything on March 12 as well as March 11 as on March 13. After using the application, the user can log out by clicking on log out, and the session will be terminated. Right. Now I am going to explain about the admin side. On accessing an admin dashboard page, the user will get the administrator will get four buttons: view user information, view ratings, view customer feedback, view user request. Whenever the administrator decided to access the user information, then he can do by clicking on this button. Then the administrator can view the user information by using this button, right? If the user decided to deactivate the user, if the administrator decided to inactivate the user, then he can click delete option here. If the admin want to see the user expenses, then the admin can see by clicking this view expenses button. Of course, if the user didn't add any expenses, then he will get then admin get this message. Actually, whatever the ratings that given by the user, that will be displayed in admin page. In this way the user can know how much in this way the admin can know how the users are giving a rating. By clicking on the view customer feedback, the admin can access the feedback provided by the users or a complaint provided by the user. Once after giving the proper reply to the user, then he can delete this by clicking on delete button. If any user requested to get his expense details through email, the users who are requested to get his expense details through an email, so those information will be displayed in this page, and the user can send this by using this button. So this is how my application works. So thank you. So thank you very much.